The role of the big man has changed over the years in the NBA. It's much less a pack the paint physical game than it was decades ago. Guys are playing a lot more positionless than ever before. But bigs need love too. I'm Madeline Burke for the Game Day here with Albert Wen, who you can find on social at Analytics Capper. And Albert, who's the best center in the NBA right now?
Gun to my head, I have to pick Joel Embiid. I think, but at the time of his injury, when he went down, he was a front runner for MVP. He had the Philadelphia 76ers in first place. And just his game to me is going to be able to translate, in the 80s, 90s, and even today. He can shoot the three, he can dribble and defend, and he's a great free throw shooter. So give me Joel Embiid.
Not to mention, he is an incredible follow on social media if you don't already. Got a lot of personality, but just like the big man's curse, injury has marred his career. I mean, you look at his rookie year. He was the guy for Rookie of the Year, but he was injured so much. He played so few games. It actually went to Malcolm Brogdon that season. Or MVP, again, he's in that conversation, earning the accolades, but injured so much, it's taking away from his achievements. And, looking at what he's been able to do in the postseason, putting up 40 points, becoming the first Sixer since Allen Iverson in 2003 to put up 40 in a playoff game is a huge accomplishment, but he's doing it playing through injury. And you think of guys like Yao Ming, for example, who have been great bigs in this game, but have had their careers cut short or hampered because of injury. So you hate to see that, but I do love watching Joel Embiid play. And one fun stat for you, though, it had been 21 years since a center won league MVP. I'm talking about Shaq back in 1999-2000 season. I noticed, though, that you didn't mention this year's MVP, Nikola Jokic, in there. He's a big man, most valuable in the league. What are your thoughts?
So I love Nikola Jokic. I think he is deserving the MVP 100%. Jamal Murray went down and the team did not miss a beat. He put that team on his back and he kind of elevated it even further. So Jokic for sure is the MVP this year. I just wanted to mention Embiid because he was the front runner at the time of the injury. It's 1A or 1B for me here, but Philly was the number one seed when Embiid went down. Denver is not the number one seed. I think that's what makes it the difference for me. But with that being said, Jokic did play most of the games this year, and he is 100% deserving of the MVP.
Absolutely. And Jokic also is far from a traditional center, right? A lot of what makes his game so special is that chemistry with Jamal Murray and the way those two play the pick and roll so effortlessly. It's almost like watching a ballet. But there are those who think that the outside scoring is making the traditional center position more or less obsolete. But last year, the Lakers led the league in points in the paint and won the title doing so. So is the traditional center thing a thing of the past, or is that still something that can be relevant?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, growing up, I followed the Shaquille O'Neals, Patrick Ewings, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwons, those guys where they would just, pack the paint. It's all about the interior. But I would say a couple of those guys did have really nice jumpers. And if they were around here in 2021, I think they would have three-point range from Patrick Ewing to Hakeem Olajuwon. So I don't know if, that traditional center is gone, but the skill set has changed. And I think these players coming up has really adjusted. Someone like a Bam Adebayo, for example, is someone who I love in Miami. He has the ability to be that center of the future. And I think, I like where the game is going, positionless and just having all five players being able to do multiple things.
Well, I also think, too, that packing the paint physicality has evolved, not just because of guys wanting to shoot and spread it out, but also because of the way the league has evolved in protecting the players and prioritizing that. I mean, you hear former players turned analysts who are saying that's a flagrant, that would have been, barely a personal foul when I was playing. And they are a lot more observant of the physicality and a lot more strict about where the lines are drawn when it comes to physicality. So I think that changes the way that bigs play. You can't be banging around in the paint as much when they're blowing the whistle so frequently.
Yeah, and I just love how just because you're a 7-footer, you don't have to put your butt in the paint. I think guys like Kevin Garnett and Dirk Nowitzki really evolved the game and pushed it forward because they did expand the range, but also defensively. Kevin Garnett could guard all five positions, and you're seeing that with, Joel Embiid or Bam Adebayo, even someone like a Christian Wood. So I like where the game is going. I just hope that it just doesn't become 83s a game, but I do like where the skills are going for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. The evolve or die is the way that things go in this league and in this world. But, when a guy that big and that long is shooting from three, it's hard to defend and it's a lot of fun to watch. Albert Wen, I'm Madeline Burke. Thanks for watching. Continue to check in on thegameday.com for all the latest.